Well, welcome back to all of our nifty gifty box makers. I can just picture you guys in your craft rooms working hard like little elves getting ready for Christmas. For those of you that missed it, we just released a kind of a last minute set of boxes for Christmas, the holidays, however you want to adapt them actually. They could technically be used for almost anything. If you just kind of omit or add certain things to the boxes, you can really make them for any occasion. But today we wanted to offer a little complimentary coordinating freebie. Of course, it would be great if we had a little name tag that we could attach to these lovely boxes, and that is what we're going to put together right now. So this is the size that we have tutorials on how to do that on the website. But this is the base of our little gift tag. I've already gone ahead and folded everything in half. I am going to jazz this up a little bit with a little bit of inking, just to kind of, spice it up a bit. It's a small little piece. It's going to go together quickly, and I figured why not. So these two pieces here, one of these is going to go on the inside. This is where you're going to write your little to and from, and then this piece is going to go on the outside. I want to ink both of these, and for those of you that follow us, you'll know that this is my go-to as far as the applicators go, and I just want to show you real quick here for those of you that, because I'm still seeing a lot of people that don't know about it. We have an official app available for Apple on the iOS store, and then also on Google Play. If you go under supplies at the bottom here, it may be a little bit blown out for you on camera here. Let me turn this down so you can maybe see that better. There you go. Yep, and you can see here I've got the inks that I use listed there, as well as the applicators. I do believe that these are going to be discontinued, so I may just need to cut my own felt, but that's okay. Anyway, download the app. It's very handy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and just kind of put my finger on the corner of one of these, get a little bit of ink on there, and I'm going to begin just gently inking the edges of this piece here. So it's probably a good idea to maybe just get a scrap piece of paper to practice on. It's really a muscle memory sort of thing where you just kind of figure out the motion, figure out the pressure. The more pressure you use, the more ink you're going to leave on the paper. And what I'm kind of doing is I'm slightly grazing the surface while making sure that I'm hitting that edge. And I can always go over the edge literally like that, but I'm trying to create a little gradient effect on the surface of the paper that sort of bleeds out to the very edge. And that is kind of the look that I prefer. It's very even, very soft, but again, because we're paper crafters and everything's subjective, you can ink it however you'd like with as much or as little ink to get your desired end result. Okay, so literally just repeating the same motion up and down this piece until I feel that I've got it looking the way that I want it. And that looks nice. You can see that it's just it's a little bit softer on the edges. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing on this piece here. And as you're doing this, if you notice that, well, maybe when you're hitting it, you're not getting as much ink left behind on that paper, just reapply that ink. And then typically when I reapply the ink, I always go a little bit softer on those first few strokes because I know that there's a lot more ink on that pad. So I just kind of lighten it up a little bit, and then as I go, I kind of push down a little bit harder, not too much. And then that way, try to get it as even as possible. And then you can kind of take a step back and take a look at the overall inking. And if you see little areas that maybe could use a little more, you can absolutely add that at any time. The only thing is you can't take ink off. You can only add more ink. So start easy, and then you can go around 3 or 4 times if you want until you get the desired level or amount of ink on your piece. Okay, so that looks nice. And then I'm not going to ink this. because that's going to look like that, and that already looks pretty nice. I am going to hit the dark green piece here. So basically this is a little ornament. It's like an ornament shaped gift tag, and we're going to bling it out too. I'm going to have some fun with this piece. Okay, so for this darker green piece, I'm going to use some darker green inks, and I'm just going to hit the edges of this again. Now this, because this paper is darker, I may need to push down a little bit harder to have even anything show up. But again, I'm kind of looking for that very subtle look anyway. So less is more. As long as it gives the impression that it's there, it's kind of all I'm after. Okay, and then once I'm done with this, I'm going to hit that red piece there to my left with rhubarb stalk is the color. This is cottage ivy that I'm using right now, and that other one was bamboo leaves. Okay, there we go, that looks nice. Just a little distress. Add a little bit of shadow, make the little highlights come out more. There we go. All right, and then I'll grab my rhubarb stalk. And this one, depending on the color of paper, of course, is gonna really show up, or it's barely gonna show up. Now with this, I'm gonna add a little bit more ink as I'm hitting the edges, and it's doing something. It's not overpowering, but again, it's kind of what I was hoping for. Now, if you really want color to pop up on this red, I may suggest using a purple ink. Purple, of course, gets some of its properties from the color red, so it would totally work, and it will really stand out a lot more. But I'm just kind of trying to add a little bit more interest to this. And by all means, you don't have to do any of this, honestly. The tag itself, add a couple rhinestones to it, can hold its own with just the paper. Oh, and you can also, if you want, emboss some of these pieces too. Probably this little band here could maybe take some embossing. I'm not sure that you'd want to emboss anything else. Maybe this red piece with a very subtle embossing folder maybe. That might look cool. The only thing about embossing is that it's going to raise your paper, and we do have a little layer that's going to go across the center here, so we don't want to prevent it from being able to sit nice and flat. So you always got to kind of think about areas that you may want to emboss and what type of effect that may have on the actual assembly. Okay. So that's that. Let me get this out of the way before I accidentally shove something in there and make a mess. Okay, so we'll start with these light green pieces. And actually, you know what? Let's build this first. And we're going to take this red piece and we're going to glue it to this green piece here, focusing on making sure that the little tip of the bottom lines up nicely. Okay. So let's get our glue on there. I just cleaned this bottle out, and of course that first little squeeze is always a little obnoxious. Get a little bit there. And I'm going to just spread that a little thin so it doesn't go crazy. All right, and just line that up at the very bottom. And make sure that it's nicely lined up here on the sides. There we go. Okay. And then we'll take our dark green piece, and that is obviously going to go right in the center there. And just make sure that you have it right side up. There's one side that is a little bit shorter than the other. It's only going to go on correctly one way. So this would be the correct way. So we'll get that on there. I do kind of like it with the inking a little bit better than just plain. So I'm glad I did that. Okay, let's add that right there. Just line that up with the little cutouts. We're going to end up putting some purple rhinestones in the center of these. Okay, so the front of it's done. Now all we need to do is glue it onto the face of the actual base of this. And we're going to use the little hole at the top for our cord or our string, whatever it is that we're going to use to attach it to our gift. I'm going to make sure that that lines up nicely so that we can later on feed our little string through there. Okay, so I'm kind of aligning the hole while making sure that I've got it nice and centered here on the bottom. There we go, that looks nice. And just press that into place. That looks pretty centered to me. Got a little bit of glue that shot out there. Just gonna take my fingernail and rub it off. There we go. And we can open this up and put the inside in there. And if you really wanted to, you could even simplify this and just remove the inside. I kind of like the two-toned effect that we have here, but if you're short on time and short on supplies, you can certainly speed things up by just kind of omitting this piece here. There we go. Okay, so that's ready for the name of your loved one. There we go. Okay, so let me grab my little tool here. This is my pick-me-up tool, one of my go-tos, and we're going to use that to apply our rhinestones. So I picked out 2 different sizes of rhinestones, and before I glued anything, I kind of put one in here, and you can see that the size of this is, I think it's a little too large for my taste. I want some of that light green to show through and kind of create a nice little even border around the center. So I'm going to go with the smaller ones, and for this, I could literally just take a tiny little drop of glue and just pop it right in the center of these little holes. Okay, now this center one here might have a little bit too much glue on there, so I'm going to pull some of that off. I don't want it to shoot out from beyond the boundaries of my my rhinestone. And I've got my little pick-me-up tool. It's got a tacky little tip. It usually has a little tool on the back here, but I've lately found that I like using my X-Acto for this. Just kind of hold that in place. Once I have it in place, make sure it's nice and centered. It is. And then just grab the next one, pop it in place, just like that. You make very quick work of a tedious little process that I equate to almost like doing brain surgery. Now this one here, I have this one sticking off a little bit. Okay, and to finish this off, we've got this bling on a roll that I'm going to hot glue here, and then maybe one little one up there. And this comes on a huge roll, and you can literally just trim it with some scissors to size. I'm going to just trim this. Just get one little strip off here, and then we'll figure out how many we need for each section, trim it, and then we'll just hot glue it. And we were definitely going above and beyond on this tag here, but if you've got something special and you really got the time and you want to jazz it up, by all means, I'd say do it. I'm going to cut off the little ends of that a little bit more, and it's going to go right there. I'll terminate it right there. Okay, so that's our first one there. You know, ornaments are usually pretty shiny, usually pretty blingy. We want to kind of recreate that here as well. And I think I'm going to take that one to this one here. Okay. That looks pretty good. And then one more right here. We'll just do, I think we could squeeze 4 in there. That'll look nice. Yep. Okay. And then, you know, I would use hot glue so that it really kind of adheres nice and quick. You can try with regular glue, although you can be sitting there for a while and it may want to move on you, and I don't want you to have to deal with that. So just kind of lay it down like that. I'm going to trim off the end of this, and see, it's already pretty much set. There we go. Whoops. Oh boy. All right, and then just flip this over. And I'm just putting glue on the first and last one. I guess I could put a tiny little dot on one of the center ones too. It's not going to hurt anything. It'll probably make it sit nicer. Okay, and just pop it right on there. There we go, look at that. That's nice. All right, let me make sure I got the right one for this section. That looks good. All right, so we'll start by just getting the first one in place. Usually I have a hard time with hot glue, but I'm getting used to it. I try to avoid it when I can, but for stuff like this, you definitely got to use it. Okay, and I'm just going to put it on the last one here. Get it nice and tight. It really shouldn't move anywhere. Oops, don't glue it to your finger, Leo. You weirdo. There we go. Hopefully that. Is that going to stay? No, I didn't even. Ended up on my finger. So you know what? I am just going to hit the middle with the dot. And then maybe one more here. You guys like hot glue? Tell me about your love or dislove for hot glue. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment. Tell me if you love hot glue. I'm not a fan. Okay, just lay that down nicely. Hopefully before it dries. There we go. I mean, it's worth it. Just, there we go. Okay, and the last one. And then we just have to put a little bit of string through it. And it's ready for our gift. I'm going to take it over to my little photo area, get it photographed and released for all of our lovely dreamers. I hope you guys are all done with your holiday shopping and your wrapping and ordering food and all that stuff. It is a lot. It is a lot. So hopefully everything's going smoothly for you guys. And after the holidays, I hope you guys find some time to craft for yourselves, just for fun, kind of maybe decompress a little bit. I'm excited to have some time off, spend it with my girlfriend and the kids and my family, and play some games, have some fun. It'll be a nice little break. Okay, last little bit. Should just kind of fall into place. There we go. Really, really kind of takes this thing over the top. I think it looks great. All right, so let me move this out of the way. And I've got some nice gold cord. And we'll just, we're gonna do this. We're gonna put both of these through, probably just one at a time. Like that, and then just feed it through so it loops like that, and then I'll tie a knot right at the top. You can kind of decide how high you want to go with your knot. I don't think it really matters. I think that's probably good right there. And I'll just trim off the excess. And our beautiful ornament is done. So anyway, lovely little ornament. Make sure that opens up. There we go. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys make it. If you do, or if you make any of the projects from our new Nifty Gifty Boxes bundle, we'd love to see them. So head on over to the official Dreaming Tree group on Facebook. In your search box, type in Dreaming Tree Group. You can join myself and the almost 17,000 plus dreamers that inspire us daily. And if you enjoyed this video, please take a moment and hit that subscribe button. You can see the little counter back there. Went up another 100 just the other day, and I love seeing that. So if you're not already a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button. And if you are, I thank you for subscribing. So anyway, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. Whatever it is you celebrate, hope it's joyous and memorable and low stress, and we will see you soon, and I look forward to crafting with you again.